November of 2020 was the first time my YouTube channel made money, and it did pretty amazingly well. How did it fare in December? Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. On December 3rd, I did a video on how my channel did in its first month of being eligible for revenue. You can see that video up here if you're interested. At the time, I said I would do a follow-up video on how the channel did in December if there was interest. As many of you have expressed some interest in the subject, here is a quick addendum to the video I did last month. If you want the history and background to the story, definitely check out the previous video for all of that. So first, a quick recap. The channel itself started in October of 2019. In order to be eligible for revenue, in other words, ads running on your channel, you have to have at least 4,000 hours of viewing of your videos plus at least 1,000 subscribers. While the 4,000 hours went pretty fast, the 1,000 subscribers took just over a year to happen. Thus, November 2nd of 2020 was the first date on which I was able to run ads and earn revenues. Where were we at the end of that month? On November 30th, I had approximately 8,670 subscribers. I had earned $2,265.66 in revenue from YouTube ads, and I had gotten $106.39, plus a small amount of earnings from previous months in support from my Patreon supporters. As always, a huge thank you to you all. I really do appreciate it. Thus, all told, I had made $2,405.15 on the channel at that date. As an interesting little meta aside here, that particular video on my earnings has earned $63.66 so far and gained 186 subscribers. If you're one of the people who joined on that episode, definitely let me know in the comments. So what has happened since? Well, first thing, I actually received the money, which was nice. If anybody out there is a YouTuber and just getting started on all this, a couple of notes here. Number one, you have to take several steps with Google's AdSense to actually get paid, so be sure to keep up with that. The biggest ones after getting approved are to verify your home address. They send you mail with a code on it that you have to put in on the web to prove that you live where you say you do. And number two, you have to connect your bank account to your AdSense account. So if you forget any of those steps, they won't pay you until the next revenue payout cycle, which it turns out is the 21st of each month. I guess having it this much after the month ends gives them time to adjust ad revenue if need be, and to process all the receivables before it's time to pay their content creators. As for Patreon, that's much easier. They charge patrons on or about the first of each month, and at any point after that, you can transfer the funds directly to your bank account, which again has to be set up first, but there's now no extra step of having to verify your address. Interestingly enough, Patreon actually takes out national taxes based on where patrons are from. So I noticed that I have a lot of German patrons, as if I didn't know that from the Discord channel already. So Germany actually made a little bit of money off of all of us from taxes this year. I think it was about $4 last month, something like that. As did a whole bunch of other countries, but in smaller amounts. So anyway, I was able to withdraw my Patreon funds in early December, and I received my AdSense revenues on the 21st. What did I do with those funds? Well, a big portion of it went to fixing up things in this studio, of course, and then the largest portion of what was left over went into, plus a whole bunch of other things, went into our down payment on our Tesla Model Y. And of course, I have several videos, some of which you can find up here, about all of that. I should have set aside some for eventual taxes, but given the fact that we were putting such a big down payment into the car, I didn't do that last month. I will start doing that this month. I also put a little bit into some stocks, notably 1 share each of ARKQ and ARKG, which is their autonomous driving artificial intelligence ETF and their genomics ETF. I plan to take a small percentage of each of these earnings each month and invest them in stocks. And hopefully over the next decade, I'll have made good decisions and we'll see a good return on that. Fingers crossed, right? So anyway, the question I'm sure you're all here to find out, how much did I make last month and how many subscribers do I have now? On the subscriber front, I was at or very near 10,450 on the 31st of December. So that's an additional 1,780 subscribers. So thank you all so much for that. That's just amazing that it just keeps on growing like it has. Also, I had 54 Patreon patrons as of the 31st. That's an additional 23 subscribers in December. And of course, thank you all to each and every one of you for your financial support and for your emotional support and everything else. I really do appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to join the fun, check out the link in the description. See how cleverly I integrated that plug in there? All right, so last month, after all the taxes and fees and stuff, I received $174.94 from Patreon patrons. And ad revenue. I don't have an official amount just yet, but doing a little bit of subtraction, I get $1,961.33. So all told, between Patreon and ads, I received or will receive $2,136.27. Yes, this is nearly $300 less than November, even giving an extra 2 days because there were 31 days in the month, of course, plus I didn't start earning revenue until November 2nd. What are my thoughts on all this? First, it's still amazing to earn anything at all from my thoughts and ideas on various subjects like Tesla and SpaceX. Second, it was a lot of work last month, and I suppose slightly disappointing the channel didn't do a little bit better monetarily or grow a little bit faster. Of course, I was super happy with hitting the subscriber milestone of 10,000 subscribers. It felt like a really big deal, and it really means a lot to me. And don't forget that you can win a sexy mug if you comment in the giveaway episode linked in the description on or before January 5th, 2021. Interestingly enough, the only video that really exploded, and yes, pun intended, onto the scene was my reaction to the Starship serial number 8 first flight, which you can watch here if you haven't seen it yet. So while November felt like a whirlwind of excitement and newness, December felt a little bit more workmanlike, I suppose. I committed to releasing one video per day if at all possible. Many of them did very well, but none except the serial number 8 video did exceptionally well. Interestingly enough, however, the serial number 8 video did not earn the most money, even though it has by far the most views. The one that's earned the most money was my Apple M1 chip video, which has earned $186 and change so far. So I appreciate that, and I also appreciate the fact that that means that people are watching this beyond just for Tesla and SpaceX. They're watching for technical subjects or technology related subjects in total. So I really like that, and I will continue. I'll take that as feedback, and I'll continue working on episodes like that in the future. As for subscriber growth, obviously it was kind of slow and steady. And by the way, I lost subscribers on some videos. At first, this really bothered me, but over time I started to realize that there was a pruning effect happening. Those who were not interested in coming along for my admittedly often ADD discussions were leaving, and that was okay. But more were coming on, and those people, which would be you guys, are more on board with the channel, and that ultimately makes me happy. So what will the future bring? Well, I'm going to have to back off to probably 2 to 3 episodes per week as January rolls on, as I'm going to get back to being very busy in my day job. That's the way life works. I expect this means I will make less money in January, but honestly, one never knows. One very popular video could change all of that. Certainly, I realize fully that YouTube is a somewhat fickle beast, and you have to retain a degree of psychological detachment from the daily ups and downs of the channel. Interestingly enough, a Patreon supporter who's a psychologist, hi John, told me a patient of his who is a YouTube creator also was having difficulty with managing the stresses of the channel, and that I appeared to be handling it much better. I told him I think this is probably an illusion. I've put in an inordinate amount of time last month on the channel, and I suffer when a video doesn't do as well as I hope it would. Not only is there a great deal of time put into the channel, of course, but a great deal of psychic energy as well. A video that does badly or gets bad comments or even loses subscribers causes me a great deal of stress, and the daily kind of grind of putting out videos feels like a job because, well, it is. Basically, it's an exchange of time for money, and that's pretty much the definition of a job. And by the way, I'm going to do a kind of out there video soon on time, so stay tuned for that one. Now, I want to be sure I close out here by saying I don't mean to sound negative at all. I'm just pointing out that behind the scenes, there's a lot going on that's not apparent when you watch a video from me or frankly anybody else out there on the interwebs. Is it worthwhile? Absolutely. As I said last month, the pros really outweigh the cons. I love the conversations that I and many others are having, and even opportunities that I never thought possible are starting to percolate up and arise from this channel. I'm really happy to be creating this content for all of you. I'm of course happy to be earning a little bit of something from it too. That helps a lot. And I'm hoping that we will all continue to share this journey into 2021 and beyond. Thanks to each and every one of you for being part of this. As always, if you enjoy the video, definitely like and subscribe because it helps other people to find it. And also ask me questions in the comments or at my email address, which is DrKnowItAllKnows@gmail.com. Till next time, bye-bye.